This is the House of Boom podcast. I'm your host, Eric Boom Salvery. This is the most diverse podcast you'll see. I today have one of the most world-renowned chefs out of New Jersey. Basically, he's from New Jersey, I believe. Chef Mark.
It's not all that. World-renowned is not how it goes.
Oh, right. How does it go?
It's a few things. You know, we cook well and we make good stuff happen. That's it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's simple that and repeat. You know, so.
Well, I mean, you do have an amazing restaurant, Burgerly, based out of New Hope, New Jersey, New Hope, Pennsylvania.
The Burgerly is a vibe. It's rocking.
I don't know. I've driven there for a while. You do some meal prep services. You just flew in from Qatar, so I say well renowned. You may not, you can keep it humble. How was that?
I mean, we did a royal wedding.
A royal wedding for you don't have to name names.
The princess of Qatar, I guess she would be.
Okay.
We killed it. It wasn't my gig. Mm-hmm. It was another catering company's. However, the opportunity to be there and be a part of this was absolutely crazy. It was insane. Mm-hmm. Like the idea of going to the Middle East, to this GCC country, and cooking in the palace and stuff like that.
How was the palace? Did you feel like you were in like Aladdin, like in reality? What are we talking about?
Well, the market made me feel like Aladdin. The palace, they took my passport and my phone. So when I went, I literally was nobody. Yeah. But, I was getting a stick.
Wait, they took your phone? What?
They took the phone and the passport, bro.
So
I just went in there as the black dude that can cut and cook. That's all.
Wow. So was it like security? Is it like following you around? Anything?
Had it down. Metal detector in and out. Mm-hmm. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was bananas. Like at some point, it was 700 people, 6 courses, 10 appetizers, 5 past appetizers, desserts, 2 plated desserts, like 6,000 plates. It was crazy.
How much of that portion of the 6,000 were you responsible for?
I mean, all the savory stuff, we had a team. It was like 14 to 15 of us in savory, probably 7 or 8 in dessert, and then we combined with more from the hotel we were working with, and it was nuts. I mean, we got it done, but it was literally it was a TV show, a reality show of getting this project done to cook this royal wedding, and none of it stopped me in it.
How long were you out there for?
About 19 days, maybe 18. Between cooking and COVID quarantining and a couple of little bit.
Also, most of the time was spent just quarantining, and the other half.
No.
Okay, break that down.
We cooked. We started cooking 2 weeks ahead for this wedding, meaning that if we cooked something, we would freeze it, like purees or anything that's sustainable that we could still bring alive later. Uh-huh. And then we got into the last week of the proteins and stuff like that. Then we packed it all up and refrigerated in freezer trucks, and we brought it into the palace where we got searched and frisked and had to give up my personal belongings. And then we went into this tent and we finished cooking the project because the wedding was a traditional Muslim wedding, all women. So you couldn't see anything. It was like a movie set. All you did was just hear music and people laughing, and it was bananas.
Wow.
It was bananas.
What was your favorite part of that trip?
I mean, another country, another culture just literally let you know how small your knowledge of what you know is. Mm-hmm. You go somewhere else, you see, first of all, being in the desert, the sun rising 92, 96 degrees, dry heat, no rain whatsoever, and then seeing other people's way of life. You're in a city that has no crime, no litter. It's literally like a spaceship movie. All the lights all the posts are illuminated purple, and the street lights have different things going on. It's bananas. You know what I mean? That was the best part. The culture, the people, a different way of life, all that matters a lot. So when you can see those things, you can't take it for granted.
What? Now, you've been cooking for how long? Really chefing it up,
Professional, this is 12 years now. I think 11 or 12 years, but I cooked all my life.
Yeah. So in the 12 years, obviously this is a new experience. I'm going over there. Did you actually learn anything? Far as kitchen, cooking, all that stuff?
Well, don't get it twisted. Anytime I can go cook or do something to learn, I do it because as far as artistry goes, creativity, you're always filling your head and coming out with things at your own. I don't get a chance to do it anymore. I used to just show up to, let's be internship or something like that and just cook, bang it out, you know what I mean? Can't do it anymore. So did I learn? For sure. If it was a technique, if it was a process, if it was solving a problem, all that's in the pocket now. You know what I mean? I never catered a wedding for 700. Now I have. Now I have all those processes down. I learned a ton. And the good part about it is that I would do that until I do that for free.
Now,
It's invaluable.
is there something that you said you learned something? Is it something that from the cooking that now we can expect here to be added to what you don't have to say exactly what it is, but the boy could cook. I mean, the boy and his team, however you want to put it, they put together some good stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit more
I
later.
mean, let's just say that like every now and then, maybe one of my cuts were off. You know? Maybe a pepper was too big. It was that big and it should have been that big.
Okay.
Those little distinct things you might not notice, they matter to me now. And I never had to be that distinct or hadn't have to for my business. But you know, when you're cutting a butternut squash sous vide, that's got to be burned wide for a certain way for this many people. Every cut's pristine.
Pristine.
So, you know, pristine, like to a T.
Okay.
To
Okay.
a T. It's like that hat. It's pristine. You know what I mean? It's like this brand is pristine.
What we're gonna move on. We're gonna change the subject a little bit. We you come back to America, people getting slapped all over there. Do you got any slapping sauces that we can talk about? I'm just playing. But I wanted to talk about being a black chef. In a I don't know if it's a white dominated space, but is it a white dominated space? Is it a space that's dominated by others? How do you see your image and your importance to the culture when it comes to being a black chef, a man in the kitchen, and all that good stuff?
That's interesting to talk about because there's different levels of it.
Okay.
Are there black chefs? Continuously, and lots of them. However, to really get into it, you got to define what it means to be a chef. Lots of people these days cook and say, I'm chef, and I'm chef so-and-so, and I'm chef Brooklyn, and I'm chef Broad Street, and you know, and I'm chef Dykeman Avenue, and I'm chef Broadway. Like, you know, doesn't work that way. To be able to cook doesn't make you a chef. Literally, somebody that creates, that takes a design, that takes a flavor profile, that understands food in that way to break it down, that's somebody that can start to deem themselves a chef. Are there many black chefs in that realm that can do the things that I can do or that other chefs that are on my level can do? No, not at all. For example, even when I took this trip, there were probably X amount of, say people, X amount, there was one of me, right? Just one. There's more women than there were me, right? And there were no black women. So that'll answer your question because everybody I worked with, they were top level, like they knew their shit.
No, it's all right.
So they, you know, because they knew their shit, like you had to either get on that level or understand what you were doing and you can adapt because you just got skin in the game. So as somebody in this field, I'm fortunate enough to use that to my advantage. For example, there's a large black community that wants great food, but they want it in a distinct way, and they also want to know that they're getting it from somebody who understands. I don't know. My mama's from Alabama. My dad's from Newark. Like I have things that are put inside me that will never go away. I can use that in my cooking.
I'm gonna cut it in there. Your mom's from Alabama and your dad's from Newark. That southern part. Do you think that sometimes you could be pigeonholed into a space as being an African American or black chef, where people say, "Oh, he's black, so he must just do soul food or something like that"? Do you find that any stereotypes in that space?
Let me tell you, I love that. I don't think there's a stereotype because I don't yell it from the mountaintops. My mom's from Alabama, though she is, right?
Right.
What I do more so is understand how I ate growing up. She bought a lot of Southern roots. She grew up on a farm, you know. So I took the great things, everything made from scratch. The fact that she ironed our underwear and our sheets, you know, but like she would not just have store-bought cookies. However, I also break from the stigma of saying, do I have to make the best fried chicken? Do I have to make the best Southern food? I don't. I had the best growing up. What I need to do is show our people who's I'm hired to cook for, maybe that there is a different way. Maybe I can combine. Maybe I can do a fusion. You know, I can do different things that tie that level in to another level. Maybe the French background, maybe some form of Italian cooking, and see what the mishmash is in between. Out of that pot comes my greatness. You know, so it's literally absorbing and using that the best way I can. If I didn't do that, if I didn't use what was ingrained in me from my parents, then I would be doubting myself. I wouldn't be using the best parts of what I was instilled with to create a product.
Okay. There's a term that, a quick story. I can cook a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm responsible for the Thanksgiving turkey, all that good stuff. You know, big responsibility. But remember being at a certain age, and I forget what you call it when your parents kind of worked, but you kind of were able to watch yourself. What's that term called?
Your brothers are there to whoop your ass?
No. Like you could kind of, my mom worked and but at a certain age, you kind of didn't need a babysitter. You watched yourself.
Self-sufficient?
Latchkey kid. And so what I would say is I remember, when I was a kid, first thing I ever cooked was like, I love burgers and fries. And so I remember first time I tried to make some French fries as I was a kid, and I'm in there. I used the wrong oil. So, I cut the potato, did everything, and then I used olive oil instead of thing. I turned it on, and the fire went from the pan to the roof, and I burnt. It's like a little bit of burnt thing on the ceiling. And I learned quickly that's not the right oil. I'm bringing all that up. When did you start? Like, when did it really start for you that this is something that you wanted to do, either just as a hobby and then it kind of matured into something you went to school for and X, Y, Z. But when did that really start for you?
All right, so first of all, great point.
Yeah.
Olive oil smoking point's too low, 330 degrees. You can't fry at that. Right?
Yeah.
Get vegetable or canola oil. It's really simple to do.
Yeah.
Second, for me, I cooked so early on that as the youngest child of four brothers, I remember that I would like go downstairs and like find a way to make myself breakfast, no matter what it was. It could have been cereal, toast, grits, whatever have you. Set my own little table and everything. And my brothers would come down like ruffians, like, yo, what you got going on down here, man? We got food right here. They start roughing me up. I'm like, guys, leave me alone.
So you got bullied into being a chef.
What, man? But I was also the hungriest. So, it was four. Mom was feeding four of us.
Right.
So I was the hungriest, so I would go watch her cook. And then I would start claiming something. Yo, that's my pork chop right there. I'd put an M on it. You know what I mean? This is a true story. You know what I mean?
Wait, you put your name
on the biggest pork chop. My dad, like my mama, that's daddy's pork chop. I'm like, wow, I helped make it. You know what I mean? These are shake and bake, by the way, too.
You bold, because the dad get the big piece of meat.
I was hungry. Okay.
All right.
So I'm hanging out with my mom in the kitchen. I'm just absorbing information. Even better than that, the youngest son, my four brothers were busy, being older brothers. She would take me to the supermarket with her every Friday. I can't remember when it was, Friday or Thursday night. We would go to the supermarket. I would literally memorize the aisles and shop with her because she had all coupons organized. I'm like, Mom, you got coming down the B aisle, coming down so and so, right? So the main parts of cooking are sourcing ingredients and then actually doing the process of cooking. I learned those so early on. At a time, my parents said, y'all need to distribute chores. Like, so if you're going to set the table, you're going to do something, so you guys got to try cooking once a night, right? I was cooking dinner by like 9 to 10 years old. And by the time I got like the go for the family, I was, probably 8th, 9th grade. I was cooking full dinners for the family, and my mom was confident with it. You know what I mean?
So she would just let you rock, like, all right, Mark got it.
The ingredients were there. I knew what she made. Every mother has at least 7 to 9 staple dishes she makes. I'm talking about like mother's my mother age, somewhere around 67 or something like that. So like her dishes, she knew was there. So she was confident about leaving me to watch her dishes because she had to feed basically a small army. That's how we ate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Four boys plus your dad?
Bro, bad.
Okay.
And a dog.
And a dog. Okay.
Everything. It was war. So I watched what she did. She was comfortable leaving me. It all culminated to when I can drive, and she was like, hey, can you make dinner tonight? And I'm like, what you want to make? And she said, I don't know. Go to the store and buy it. You know what I mean? Take some money and do what you got to do.
Right.
So therefore, she literally instilled for me to get that done, taking that job off of her, and I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So I was making stuff when I came home from school, and then I'd be at school and I'd be like, when I went to college, I had Sunday dinner with my friends. You know what I mean? So it all just built up, culminated to the point where I knew how to make all these things. I just didn't know the correct techniques per se, you know?
Okay.
So, you know, to answer your question, it was really a for me, and I was happy to do it, and like, imagine what it put into me.
Yeah. And you went to what school? Did you go to cooking school or did you go to traditional college first?
No. I went to, I didn't go to culinary school at all. I went to UVA and NYU.
Okay.
Finished at NYU, worked on Wall Street for 7 years, and
Okay.
then decided to take up cooking full time. Got a CIA textbook, Culinary Institute of America, matched what I knew I'd do in there, and literally off to the races.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
that's and now we're here. It's life as is.
Okay. We're going to switch gears a little bit. When you're in the kitchen, that's a long process. It's not, especially when you're cooking for others. It's different when you cook for yourself and all that other stuff. So, you know, this podcast is one of the things that this podcast is based around is fitness. So how do you find the time? Because I notice anybody I know who's a chef, they're in the kitchen like hours and hours. Like, you know what I mean? How do you find the time to stay in shape and still cook? Because we talked a little bit off screen about boxing a little bit, but talk about that balance, because you don't want to be in the kitchen so much that you're killing yourself to make everybody happy. And it's like,
I mean, it's a decision. You know, it's a decision to own what you're going to, how you're going to feel, how you're going to look. Unfortunately, might be oxymoron. I hate working out. All right?
Okay.
I was a college athlete, high school athlete. I was an All-American, et
you
cetera,
did
et cetera, right?
All-American in what?
Wrestling.
Okay.
Right? So, you know, I was made to work out, but like when you're stuck, you're stuck.
Right.
Also, I know my perception. So I one time I had like 5 professional athletes, whole starting 5.
Okay.
I'm starting bit on my roster. And the fact that I'm feeding them, they were confident in me because I knew how to eat from wrestling in college.
Okay.
Right? Or for coaching after that. So, you know, what I do now is I don't work as much as I should. You know, I might get 3 times in a week. Be lucky and get 4. You know, get a little go hard 4 times a week, knock that bag out, get that frustration out. You know what it is.
Right.
A couple of days I might just stretch, right?
Right.
But I made the decision that I have to decide how I'm going to figure out my life for that, right?
Okay.
Second thing also, I know how to eat, right? And I cook the way I know how to eat, and I also sell my products.
So let's cut in right there. Give us something basic that you say, I know how to eat. Well, most people don't know. Like, how do you eat?
Well, for when I had my athletes, all they would do is they would research different diets so that they could get another 3 years out their contract. Yo, I need to play another few years, whatever have you, right? So I was doing a keto diet like 10 years ago, right? Before anybody said a K for keto, before anybody was thinking about protein and veg,
Okay.
right? But I had done that for wrestling before that. So the modification was figuring out for them and then just making great vegetables.
Okay.
So at some point, I was selling what I ate. You know what I mean? I was eating what I sold and selling what I ate. So, you know, I said, this is a keto diet. Let me tell you how it works out. I would have 7 or 8 vegetables that they could eat a week and the proteins, all healthy, either grilled, sauteed, whatever have you, and cutting out starches, white starches, whatever have you. Did that same thing. Do I do it as hard now? No.
Can you break down white starches? Because those can be confusing.
Completely. So you have white rice, white potatoes, anything that is basically by vision white or white flour.
Okay.
Right? The body retains on that too much. I mean, you can literally feel it. Put it in your hands. You don't like the way it feels. The body's gonna make that stick, and you shouldn't eat it, not as much, or you should consume it in very low amounts. However, the body loves those things. The mouth loves those things. It makes you feel good. Imagine you're out, you get some, I don't know, you could go anywhere with this. You get some mashed potatoes, it goes with your steak. You with your leg.
I ain't gonna lie, bro,
You know what I mean?
because
Like-
you used to mess me up with the mashed potatoes.
I try not to give them to you though, man.
We'll talk about, but it's like, okay, pandemic. My brother, he transitioned over. He
I
started
hit you with a little bit, man. We need a little feel. You need a little feel good in that plate.
and he had these mashed potatoes, and they were so freaking
whipped.
fluffy and
Yeah,
just
whipped, man. They were whipped.
And what happened was we was, you know, I hustle, so you know I do Uber, and one day he hit me up. We just ran into each other. He ordered an Uber to make a delivery. He opened the car and said, "Yo, what's up? My name is Mark." And I'm like, "Mark, it's me." Whatever. So we worked it out that I would do some deliveries, you know, for him, whatever. And he would hook me up with a meal. And the meal, you know, have your basic, your protein, your veggies, and then he would have these damn mashed potatoes, bro. And I could really just go there and just eat the mashed potatoes and be good. Like
You
I just
can't
had a
push them
good day.
aside because they stick to the fork. You know what I mean?
The choice is hitting. But go ahead, get back to your point, man.
Yeah, man. Like it's exactly what I was saying, that white starches, when you cut them out, basically your body will derive the sugar and the starch from somewhere else, and then literally start to take it from within. Keto diet is like, and it basically goes into ketosis.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was cooking that a long time ago. I was eating it also. I don't do it now, but I just regard, you know, what I'm doing or how is it going. Like I need to do a cut pretty soon, man. I gotta drop like 15. I don't know. The cameras probably make it look a certain way. You care or you don't. I care too much.
All right. Well,
you know what I mean?
we
I
are
care
going to
too
get a
much.
workout in, so we'll help him get that cut. But go ahead.
So, you know, I mean, but you substitute that with other good things, quinoa, grains that are whole and colorful or darker. Those that are better are for you.
Quinoa is
Wild
cool,
rice,
but I get tired of that. I'm like,
Of course you do, because it's too popular now, but you got to find other ways to remix it.
Okay.
Or you got to throw in some farro. You got to throw in some buckwheat. Like there's so many different grains that can fulfill that need for starch. If you want to go hardcore, cut the starch out, hard as can be.
Yeah.
But yo, you will drop pounds and shred, and you'll find your life in protein and veg. I'm telling.
So okay, let's sweet potato. Let's say a white potato and a sweet potato. What's the biggest difference? Because is it
So, not to break down all of the
Yeah,
complex and
yeah.
you know the cell rhythms and whatever I could say,
Yeah.
sweet potatoes are healthier no matter what, right? Easily do a roasted baked sweet potato and get some of that love. I mean, for me, there's also a thing because there are purple potatoes, there are other potatoes that don't just literally have white starch. They have
Okay.
different type of starch. The sugars might be less. There are different benefits to it.
okay?
Always remember though, potato, 0 calories, I think, no, not 0 calories, it's 0 fat and 0 something else until you fry it and salt it, make either potato chips or french fries. And it is the most unhealthiest thing in the world, all right?
Okay.
How we treat these things matter.
What if I take the potato and I say, all right, I'm just gonna put it in the air fryer? Does it count the same?
I just don't think the carbs from that starch are necessary.
Okay.
Now, get you a purple or Japanese yam, dice that, cut it in wedges, put it in the air fryer, complete different beast, and it's healthier for you.
Okay.
You know, it's literally getting away from white. I don't know if that sounds bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the rice, even though at some points a couple of my guys be eating jasmine rice, something like that, but like getting away from the simple white starches that break down to other things in your body, that doesn't work out well.
Gotcha.
You know, transfer that with something else.
Gotcha.
I don't always follow the rules. I don't do a good job. I want a burger joint. And we got brioche rolls at the Burgley. All right, buttery soft. You toast them, right back. Hold the beef and everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? What can I say?
I've been to Burgley. I started the year off with a fast, and when I broke my fast, I drove all the way to Burgley, and I was like, yo, and then Mark was like, yo, you good? He's like, yo, this here, here's one for the road, bro.
How we do?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm thinking like, I'm gonna eat this tomorrow. I'm like, nah, this joint ain't even like. It lasted like.
Noah's order. Noah's order. All right.
Yo,
Onions, no
I ain't
cheese,
even.
double it up.
And my appetite is not. The crazy thing is my appetite is not that big, and I think I had 2 burgers and a chicken sandwich, and they all disappeared within. I think I still the last one stretched out, but it didn't last 24 hours.
It was also delicious.
I was like, this is the way to break a fast if you're gonna do it like that. I mean, hey, Burgley, y'all definitely got to check it out at some point in time. You really need to bring one somewhere in New Jersey to make life easier. Did it stop? No. Okay. Yeah, I really need to just bring one to Jersey to just make life easier for us. But
I'm working on it, man. We got a couple spots. I'm working on it. We'll see.
Now, you talked about some. Are there any new ventures that you have coming up that maybe we could be aware of, or anything that's coming up that
Oh man, we're just staying busy. Catering kind of took a hit with the pandemic and everything. Keeping that afloat, I was doing all sorts of stuff. You know that, because you were helping me out. So now I'm just working on a couple different ventures, trying the best way to get our product to you if you need some sort of party, big or small. Elokins can be with wonderful food, great service, great people, great drinks. We cover it. We do it all. We turn any place, any environment to a restaurant. That's our thing. With banners and colors, we make it happen. At the same time, you got the burglary, working on more catering, more cafeterias, just trying to do my best to say that like the food we have has to be out there and seen, and grow those responsibilities and those opportunities to get to people.
We're gonna switch gears a little bit. You proclaim to be a Giants fan, so how are you feeling about the coaching hires? How are you feeling about what the Giants have done this offseason with free agency? And we'll start with those two.
Well, this is how you feel. First, I was a Giants fan,
Uh-huh.
and two, I mean, you can say a fan, but like when a team makes something that seems for the best, when they've been doing bad, you immediately just golf clap. You immediately just give it up. Oh, and you know what? That's gonna be a good move. We're gonna make it happen, right? I thought Judge had legs. I thought that he was gonna bring in a nice mindset. I thought that the team was gonna respond to him.
Okay.
But this is the complexities of the league. For example, you can have this ridiculous quarterback in college. He gets to the NFL. Oh, he's gonna do that. What happens? Bust.
Right.
Right? That's 93%, I think, of the quarterbacks. Don't quote me on that number. Right?
So I have an interesting theory about Daniel Jones. I don't care. I'm a Cowboys fan. You can say whatever you want. Everybody, when he came into the league, everybody was like, "Oh, he's the next Eli Manning." Eli Manning. As much as I'm a Cowboys fan, I would say that I feel like Eli Manning was an average athlete with an elite clutch gene. I feel like you guys inherited the second coming of Tony Romo, because some of the goofy stuff that he does as a quarterback has Tony Romo written all over it. And I'm just like, and this is what I'll say. Tony Romo was an elite athlete with a less than average clutch gene.
So he's got this funky style.
Yeah.
And this weird athleticism that they grant him the capability to do these things. Now, that doesn't mean I support them.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay.
Right? He's out there sometimes but like imagine the amount of quarterbacks that literally make it happen. The problem is that when it's done in black, it looks way better. It's with swag.
No.
Right? So you know what I mean?
Right.
Like who was on the Cardinals last year? It's not gonna be there no more. Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Bro, some of those plays he makes, let's be real about from Seahawks also. That's on Broncos now.
Russell Wilson.
Like when he does these things, it's not a big deal because you're like, oh, look at that athletic. When Daniel Jones does it, you're like, oh, look at the white boy run, right? He's athletic in that way, but he's also tall. And he can throw the ball. So it's a little weird. Once again, though, I don't know how much I pray for the second coming of Eli Manning. Like, let's be real. Eli, awesome. Eli, thank you, right? But look at some of the Bengals.
Did you ever make a meal for Eli?
Nah, man, he should have called me. He's right in Hoboken.
Right.
I always mess with NFL contracts.
Got it.
I just don't like putting somebody as a second coming of blank, right? The league changes every single year.
Right.
And quarterbacks, bro, they're a throw up, man. This kid went to UNC. He went to Duke.
Yeah.
What other players came out of Duke and actually stuck it out in the league to be a big name?
Not a quarterback. It's not many.
Not many.
There's some other
It might be a running back. It might be something. You know what I mean? And Duke is a late comer. I was an ACC at UVA. And no disrespect to Duke. However, he has talent. They're giving him one more year because he has that NFL now too. That's different. Put him with a different quarterback coach, see what happens. He has pops of okay. He has pops of good. He has pops of okay to good. If you're going to be great, I don't know. Now you're rocking like Mahomes. That's different.
You say the league changes every year. I'm sorry. You say the league changes every year.
Every year.
The running back position is devalued, right? Like they don't really respect running backs right now because they just think you can get them a dime a dozen. However, you do have an elite running back, even though he was off injured last year. And I think the second injury when he rolled his ankle, that was just some goofy whatever. Everything else, he's been pretty healthy until he tore his ACL or something like that. Do you think that Giants should keep him, or do you think they should trade him and try to get some capital? Because I'm just curious. I feel like they're wasting his career. Like
the league is tough. You can't have an elite running back with a whack line. Let's be real. can't have an elite quarterback with a back line.
Right.
The line wasn't doing their job. You give him opportunities to shine, he's going to. Coming off the injury, he can. The problem is the half-life for a running back in the league is what? 3.5 years?
Yeah.
3 years, right? He's at that mark. So you say, oh, deal him. But like some guys have been dealt, Leonard Fournette, and they've shown out. Right?
Well, I think
You can't never call it, right? So are you
Well-
gonna? And this is the problem. So the Giants brass, at some point, the top brass, at the point, has always held on because they are they supportive to who makes things happen.
Okay.
You know what I mean, Tiki Barber, Eli Manning, right?
Okay.
But like it's not in the same way where they make the right change right away to get things done. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you mentioned the comparison with Leonard Fournette. The thing about it is they managed him different. They know what they have, and I think the Giants don't do
Well,
that.
I was gonna say that you put a lot of onus on one guy
Yeah.
to make things happen for
Right.
this team that has a whack offense. You
Right.
can't do that, right? Yeah, we had some weapons at receiver this year, but who was supposed to show out didn't because they didn't have time to get the long ball to him, right?
Right.
In my opinion, fix the line, fix the guys that have to name. Barkley's gonna run no matter where he goes, and the worst thing is, and the Giants know that, you trade him somewhere. And he
shows-
gathers up a
yeah.
whole bunch of yards somewhere to give him a chance with a line.
Yeah.
What you gonna be doing now? Shooting yourself in the foot.
So you said keep him. Okay. What do you think besides the line? What do you think what's your overall view of everything they need to do? Because they got a draft coming up. I think they got plenty of draft picks this year too.
I think we did the right thing, which is revamp what's needed, and that started from the top. All right, GM going. I just don't know about following the complete Bills outline, right? And that's what's happening right now. I think we got 3 or 4 Bills players already. Fine, the Bills have been rocking, you know what I mean? But remember the trend of the league this year, right? Not this year, the past 3 or 4 years. You have a bunch of young, hungry coaches that bring in a different mindset and that bring in a different aspect and say, listen, we can change the game through different techniques, through using different measures of data, right? And
Analytics.
this all exactly, and this all can change things. And the Giants are now bitten into that just enough, taking from the Bills organization because the Bills don't have the market share in the same state, bro.
Yeah.
Right? But the Bills do have the team. They've been rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
And that's what happens every year because the year's going to change, the league's going to change again.
Yeah.
Chiefs just dealt Tyreek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With things like that, all those measurings, all those things change the outlook. You can never figure out what's going on.
Right.
You have another group of exciting quarterbacks coming out. But the Giants held on to Daniel Jones, in my opinion, because they say, give this guy another year to shine, draft somebody strong behind him, right? Weigh that out.
I think they
still
wait for like
hedge.
either Jimmy G or Baker Mayfield to come. Once the price, I mean, Jimmy G is probably, they just wait for the injury, so they will probably wait till the end of training camp for that. I think Baker Mayfield, they just wait for the Browns to be like, we're gonna eat some of this salary so that they can we can trade him because that the Giants is the only logical place he can go.
I mean, but then
Or Tampa Bay, but I just think there's only two places where he could go where he might be able to start, or like Tampa Bay, they just the head coach just retired, but they're gonna have to get somebody to replace Tom Brady eventually, and it's like he could go sit there for a year or two depending on how long Brady really wants to play, and then obviously the Giants because he would give Daniel Jones some competition. So.
I mean, maybe, right? But like, if Cleveland was so quick to deal Baker, what does it say about Baker?
I think it has nothing. It has
First of
nothing to
all,
do-
I feel so ridiculous saying the name Baker that
Right.
many times. You know what I mean, like,
But I think at the end of the day,
I mean, he can ball.
he's
but like,
he's serviceable.
how does
but
he feel to Deshaun Watson then?
it just what I was going to say is like, despite all the other stuff with Deshaun Watson, you can't really discount it. But despite it, it's Deshaun Watson. What you going to
Deshaun
do?
Watson can ball.
Yeah.
Got the size and everything. So what does that say for Baker? That's the third time I've seen it. That sounds ridiculous. What are his parents doing one day? They're held and they say, "Oh, Baker." Oh, look at baby Baker.
Well, maybe you and him could get a cooking show.
Yeah, bro. Now you on to something. You know what I mean? I make
He come to New York, y'all get a little cooking show going.
Make
You
Baker
ain't gonna
bake.
better, you go to make
Baker bake.
Make Baker bake. He can make the desserts and you can make the entrees. There you
It
go.
is, bro. That's how it goes.
Okay, so last question about the Giants. Where do you see them ending up in the NFC East this year?
Oh man,
We ain't even gonna talk about the whole overall picture. Just like, where do you think they're gonna finish?
optimistic. I gotta be right. Doing some changes.
You know, the Eagles got Jalen. They solid with that, and they made the playoffs last year.
Let's never bring the Eagles up in here again. We actually call them the Feagles.
And what do you call the Redskins?
Commanders.
The Commanders. Oh, sorry, no shade.
Confused.
Oh,
Confused.
no shade.
But you know what? I'm gonna get the Giants. I'm gonna put the Giants.
Give me an honest
football. I'm putting the Giants above 500.
Okay.
All right.
So,
but you know, in the division, that gets you places.
Yeah.
All right. Over 500.
Do they make the playoffs this year?
So we gonna have that same tough divisional game.
I mean, you know that the Cowboys is probably gonna be an L. The rest of them.
Yes.
The Cowboys are gonna be. The Cowboys is gonna be an L.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna place an early prop bet. Giants make the playoffs.
I don't want. We don't have to do prop bets on the playoffs because if they make it, I'm saying the division. Who wins the division? I'm not gonna. Because they might make the playoffs because the NFC is just
that's what I'm saying.
Wide open.
It's a marble shoot.
That's a wide open.
So I'll take that prop bet. I'll do it on FanDuel. You know what I mean? And we'll see what plays out. Because right now, like there's nobody that's stable. First of all, I don't believe in the Eagles that much. I mean, they might deal jail. They just make rash decisions. Okay.
Yeah, you fire your Super Bowl winning coach just because he has a bad season.
You kidding me? They make rash decisions. Plus, they're kind of funky people. Like
right.
I want to say it's in public, but like y'all just not good people. Two, Cowboys. Well, expect from y'all, right? We got a variable. We got a variable in the Giants. At least we're making big changes.
Okay.
But remember what I said when we first asked me about this. Gotta be positive about the stuff they do.
Okay.
2 years ago, I was positive also.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What I don't like, I don't like when you put Geno Smith in the league in the rotation.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate. So that GM's gone. As he did things like that, maybe we got something going. We're cooking this year.
All right. We're gonna switch gears one last time. I'm gonna talk about this. I don't really want to talk about. I don't want to go too hard with the slap situation, but you being a married brother, what perspective do you have on everything? We don't have to go too deep into what happened. Everybody knows what happened. I'm of the mindset that whatever people saw, all sides are. I don't think there's a side. I think all sides are true. Like you can feel every which way about it, and there's really no wrong to it.
I mean, it's opinion based.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. There was my mom always said you can't ask God to bless this mess. There's two wrongs that happened. Right? Chris Rock was wrong. He was wrong. So picking a side is not going to make sense because it's wrong or wrong.
Right.
However, I'm about composure.
Right.
All right. Especially on that stage, and I think what I was going to mention was that, Will kind of did it reverse. Like he got, fame and Will Smith, I mean, he could do that shit and, commemorate white people. And then he want to go and have a straight nigga moment on the Oscars, you know what I mean? After he did 30 years of movies and 300 million or 400 million of films.
Right.
Okay? Fine, all good. You got to have more composure. In my opinion, you got to have more composure. I heard a lot of opinions. Oh, go defend, go do this and that. Bro, you're on the largest stage. That was broadcast on every continent, right? If you feel your moxie is to go slap another black man on national TV, make us look like clowns, have no composure, I can't go along with that. Chris Rock, he's a comedian. They're going to joke. They've been making jokes about bad stuff for years. Anytime a comedian says, too early, they're justifying their joke, right? Am I justifying his? No. But somebody in my group chat said, it's alopecia, bro. They don't have a month nor a color in the football league, right? It's not that bad. Is that me? I'll take it. DM me at Remarkably Better.
So we're just gonna do a little extra credit. We're gonna talk about entrepreneurship real quick. What is it like being an entrepreneur and being in a chef space where it can be, I guess, a little bit oversaturated at times? And then how's it been um, through the pandemic? As this emerging through the pandemic. Having to switch gears, going from you talked about being a catering space to now being in a space where maybe there are not as many events going on to now you're opening a restaurant, cafeterias. Let's talk about it.
All right, so to be an entrepreneur, you got to be crazy. All right, that's number one.
All right.
All right,
It ain't for everybody.
It's not for everybody. You got to literally have guts, balls. You got to have moxie. You got to have you got to be able to take the punches. You got to have a chin, a Chris Rock chin. You know what I mean, like, you have to understand that you're going for something that you feel by yourself, and then you have to push this idea onto other people, whilst not knowing how to do that and getting people to believe into your idea, work for you, push it, et cetera, et cetera. And that is a whole fit of loneliness. You know what I mean? Like, oh, am I doing the right thing?
Loneliness.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like, you're working for yourself, right? You're writing your own ideas down. You might be bouncing this off somebody who you can get good advice from. But, like, you're out there alone, right? You also have these...
Let me cut in there. Maybe you find in a circle of people to bounce your stuff off of, creatively. Like when I do podcasts or photography, sometimes I end up having to just want to keep stuff to myself, and it's hard to want to express that to people because it's almost like when you think you have something valuable, these days you're like, I gotta give people an NDA before I start giving this idea away because somebody mess around and steal this idea. Do you find yourself in the chef space? Entrepreneur and chef space having to feel that guarded?
I mean, I can see that, but for me, what I was more talking about are the process of getting things done.
Okay.
All the other parts that come in with business.
Okay.
I tell anybody who I mentorship is huge. I'm talking about it anyway. I'll tell anybody who I mentor, I talk to, who asks me for advice, right? That in the midst of you easily writing a business plan, that literally takes you getting your thoughts out, writing your roadmap on, and then saying, am I doing the right thing? That's a question to yourself, because really fast if you're not or if you are. It comes out in the numbers, it comes out in the marketing plan, things like that. To go back around, I believe in mentorship because somebody's got to tell you that's not going to work. I don't see that avenue for you. That's not a good look. But when you tell you what it is, I've been here, I've done this. Maybe you could do that. That's where you'll find money. You can do it. Get back in the game. Those little things right there, they matter. So you mentioned something.
Again, I'm gonna not caveat because you said the mentorship on that piece. What's the importance of saying those things to the right people? Because I remember I had an idea for something, and I said it to a group of friends, thinking that everybody was business-like, and I said it in front of the wrong group of people. And I would say it would massively delayed me to our point where I didn't want to do it.
2
Yeah.
to 3 mentors, all right? 1 that's close to you but madly successful, you look up to him, is always going to give you good advice and be honest with you, right? But that doesn't work. You need to do something else. Have this guy in my life told me one day, he said, I want you to treat when you work at home for yourself if you're an employee. For example, the work you did today, would you pay yourself?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, blew my mind, because I'm like, well, if I had to pay myself an hourly salary, was I worth it, right? 2, you need some old dude, right? It's wildly successful, doesn't need to talk to you, but has the time, is dedicated to you because he cares. He cares about younger people, he cares about who you are and seeing your vision through, right? Could be anybody. I don't know how you find them. I got like 2 or 3 of them, awesome dudes. Take you out, maybe for lunch, introduce you to people. This guy helps me get this done. This helps me get done. Relationships. Helps you build those. Those 2 things will kind of like, it's almost like a pinball machine as you're bouncing back and forth, keep you right? Are they perfect? Nobody's perfect. But what they are is out for your best interest. And then they're willing to spend their time. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 50, it could be half a day into making you a better entrepreneur because they've done it, right? That's the value of mentorship. And I have, a few people I've mentored, And you know, oh, you're my mentor, you're this and that, or so and so. I tell them the exact same thing. How's your business plan? Try to put them, introduce them to some people. Try to, I don't know, give them a meal someday because nobody cares about you because you worked on your own. Nobody buys you nothing no more, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. That's the value of that. Goes back down to entrepreneurship, where you got to keep plugging along. My mom said one day, nobody cares about your product like you will. Right? So every time you thinking about how you may be down, nobody's calling you, you don't have your client, you lost a job. Remember Geico. Geico shouts it from the hills all the time. All right? Geico, the gecko, that's not. We're the best. They're not the best insurance. They just say it the loudest. That's it.
Yeah. What has your experience been over the last 2 to 3 years?
I mean, the pandemic is interesting because you literally saw people and businesses, people make up businesses, pivot to stay on their float, stay adjust to stay relevant, right? So one of my friends works at a bank, commercial lender, et cetera, et cetera. He was doing the government loans for the bank. He's like, I don't want to do this, but this is what we're doing. My other friend, corporate litigation, you know, he does all of their processes for when they go to court. My man was selling menus, you know what I mean? Like, everybody pivoted to make something happen. But let's be real, as something went down, maybe going out to restaurants went down, look how much people sit at home watching Netflix went up. They got to eat. Chick-fil-A, they ate. All the delivery services, they ate. They did well. So for me, I pivoted also. I changed my meals I used to do in-house to, hey, you having your anniversary party for your wife, let's do package 4 5-course dinners to people you can drop off. You guys can get on Zoom, eat together. Then I did a Zoom dinner course where people cooked, put it together with me, ate all over to so many people. Then I did a Zoom cooking lesson, 280 people across the United States, where I was teaching them how to do something in their house, kind of brought them together for an organization, all right? All different things like that. We're pivoting to try to stay relevant and to try to understand the world has not shut down. People still need important things. You have to figure out how to deliver it to them.
Okay.
And then I opened a restaurant because I'm crazy. I bought in low and I came out, you know, building that up.
Hey.
Knocked out the box. That's what you got to do. Bang.
Right. So that has been the House of Boom Extra Credit Entrepreneurship segment with Chef Mark. Again, they can find you where?
Get you a mentor, okay? Get you a mentor.
That's the at. Get you a mentor.
At remarkably _ better. I can't be your mentor. Get you a mentor. They're out there. Find somebody doing it.
Oh no, the DM is about to be lit, bro. So you're gonna have to at least take 1 or 2 people on from there.
I'd be faking on Instagram.
Somebody gonna hit you up to cook something. So
maybe we'll start a mentorship group or something like that.
There you go. Zoom mentorship. $19.99 subscription.
What does Pastor say? Some help some, and some help some. It won't be so hard on some.
I thought it was like each one.
Nah, he changed that. Some help some, and some help some. It won't be so hard on some.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Do you want to quote the oh, no.
He'll love that. Oh, boy.
All right, y'all. This has been the House of Boom. We out. Peace.
We went to church together.
I don't know this guy.